This is Deontay, and this is my girl Linda Westpoint. We on the
Trendi. That's right.
Trendi Lindi show, and we finna go live at 12:30, 1450 AM, 95.9 FM. Y'all tuning into. Hey, where my mom at? You listening? your baby on the radio? Yeah. I'm hyped.
Hold on, y'all. Let me push mine.
Oh, she gotta do hers now. It's so hood. So hood. I'm trying to tell you something.
Exactly. Good morning, Facebook Live. This is the Trendi Lindi Show. I am Trendi, and I have a special guest in the studio today, Deontay Carroll.
What it do?
Now, we are going to talk today about his new book, Saved, Sanctified, and Addicted to Porn.
Yeah.
So I want you to call everybody you know, let them know that we're on the Trendi Lindi Show. We're going to have some fun.
Where my daddy at?
We're going to have some fun on this, this afternoon. Hey, Yvette, my sister. Hey, Erica Lachey.
Mama Simmons, my cousin Joshua Pittman.
Hey, Joshua.
Yay.
Deborah, we glad y'all tuned in today. Please watch, and if you have any questions, send us the questions, and we'll get them back to you.
95.9, 1450 AM. 95.9 FM, 1450 AM. Hold on, I think we about to go on the air. We about to go on the air?
We might go on the air.
Huh?
We might go on.
Oh, okay.
See the new book, y'all?
Yeah, I'm about to be so extra.
Did y'all hear that? Minister Deontay is getting ready to be extra, y'all.
I'm about to be extra. You about to be extra.
We're going to have fun, but we're talking about a serious topic that are really... it's really plaguing a lot of people in their marriages and their personal lives. And prayerfully, Deontay will be able to extend you some information that will help you, become free, delivered. If you know someone who's dealing with secret porn addiction, tell them to tune in. We're not here to judge. We're here to offer information and to offer help because we love you and we want to see you free from everything that's keeping you captive and holding you down from becoming all that you can be. Right, so tune in with us. We're going to have fun on this afternoon. We can ready to go live, y'all.
Ready to go live. I've been ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is the new Trendi Lindi Show, and we are super excited on this afternoon. I tell y'all, we got a hefty topic on today. I have my boy in the studio, Mr. Deontay Carroll, and he is the new author of the book. Well, he's not a new author. This is his second book, but he's the author of the book, Saved, Sanctified, and Addicted to Porn. Now, I know some of you are saying now, how is that even possible? How can you be saved? How can you be sanctified?
I'm gonna tell you.
And how can you be addicted to porn?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. He gonna tell us. He gonna tell us because he had this experience and he was able to find help and deliverance, and he's going to help you understand how you can possibly be saved, sanctified, but addicted to porn. So good afternoon, Deontay.
Hey, good morning. How you doing? Oh, wait a minute, it's 12:30.
Yeah, it's 12 now. Everybody eating their lunch.
Hold on, I want to say, my mama listening. My mama. I love my mama, my daddy, all of them listening. Love
you love all of them. Okay, he gave him the shout out. He gave him a shout out.
All them.
Okay, well tell us. Let's start. Let's get it. Let's dive into this, Deontay. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Deontay Carroll? Who is he?
Deontay Carroll is New York Times best-selling author.
That's right.
Hey, but if y'all buy the book, we can get there, baby. All right. No, Deontay, he's a father of two boys, Nigel and DJ. I hope they listening with their mom. I'm a preacher. Been preaching since I was 16. Got licensed, ordained at 21. Wrote my first book when I was like 21 years old.
Wow.
And this is my second book, Saved, Sanctified, Addicted to Porn. And let's clear the topic. Let's clear the name. Saved, Sanctified, and Addicted to Porn, Overcoming Sexual Perversion.
Oh, so I got to include that other part.
That because overcoming. They gonna try to throw me to the wolves if they heard just that first part.
Okay, so it's Saved, Sanctified, and Addicted to Porn, overcoming sexual perversion. Overcoming sexual perversion. Okay. So you're a minister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Christian Fellowship Baptist Church. You know where it is.
Awesome.
Right behind Johnny Boys.
Okay, right behind Johnny Boys. Okay. So tell us, what made you write this book, Deontay?
So 2 years ago, I was actually at work. Shout out to my staff, DC Court, Southeast Field Unit. I know they're listening. So 2 years ago, the Lord put it on my heart. I had the addiction, and He was just saying, it's time for you to tell about this story, talk about your experience. And I was on my lunch break, and for an hour, literally, I had 10 pages of an outline. You know when God is giving you something, when He gives you everything word for word, line for line. He gave me the outline. He gave me the backbone. All I had to do was fill in the blanks and just write the story. I mean, He gave me every chapter that's in the book. He gave it to me on that lunch break for 45 minutes, and I had about 10 pages worth, and it was serious.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I had started writing it. I put it down because I had started going through some things in life. And then a friend of mine, she was telling me, Deontay, she really got into me. I know she's listening. She got into me. She said, Deontay, it's time for you to tell this story. People need to hear this story. There's nobody talking about this in the body of Christ. There's a lot going on. Nobody's addressing it, and you need to pick it back up. And so after that conversation, I picked it back up in a matter of about 2, maybe 3 months. I had finished it.
Okay.
And the rest is history.
Now tell us, Deontay, when I shared this with a few gentlemen, they were like addicted to porn. Everybody watches porn. Why is this such a big issue that you were addicted to porn? A lot of people say, so what? You're just watching a clip, a movie, people, pleasuring themselves or each other. Why is that such a big deal that we need deliverance from it?
We need deliverance because it can consume us.
Okay.
And Scripture says if you look at a woman lustfully, you've already committed sin without even doing the act.
Right.
So not only that, a lot of things, you got the Old Testament, New Testament. Old Testament dealt with your outward actions. The New Testament deals with that inner man.
Right.
And so you may not be doing X, Y, Z. You may not be sleeping around, but you still have lust in your heart. You still lusting after somebody that doesn't belong to you.
Right.
You're still looking at people, with lustful eyes.
Right.
And that can control you. So people have lost their jobs. People have lost because they at work surfing and looking at porn and things of that nature. And then marriages have gone, down the drain because of porn, because you're too busy looking at, your favorite porn artist or porn actress online. And rather than taking all of that energy and giving it to your spouse, you're giving all that energy to the computer and, pleasing yourself and satisfying yourself. So, it can affect you in a negative way.
Definitely. And in the book, you stated how you were married. So were there times where you would compare your wife to Cindy that's swinging on the pole and doing all these things that most people don't do in the bedroom? Did you fantasize more for that than you did with your own spouse?
Well, see, we had a lot of issues going on in our marriage, and one of the things it wasn't an issue for the longest time. She didn't know that I was actively a porn addict until later on down the line, and we had a big argument a couple of years ago. At the time when I was married, we had a big argument, and we were trying to figure out what was the issue of a lot of our arguments and problems, because we argued too frequently. And she told me some things about, what she was dealing with that she brought into the marriage. And I told her, I confessed to her that I brought pornography or the addiction to porn and masturbation, all of that into my marriage. And, I confessed to her, there were moments in the morning I would wake up, looking at porn. I would go to bed looking at porn. And there were some things in the marriage to where I felt like I was being treated a certain kind of way or whatnot. So I went to that as therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you used that as a therapy. Mm-hmm. When I read this book, I really identified with it because I was married, and the largest problem in the marriage is my ex-husband had a problem with masturbation. And because he did that on a regular basis, I'm talking about several times a day, possibly 5 to 10 times a day. Right. By the time it came down to, bedtime for us, he had no energy left. He had nothing left. He had pretty much, so it can definitely consume you, and it can take over, your desires, when it comes to that, and you won't be able to function properly, in your relationship. So that was definitely a part of your.
When I first got addicted, to pornography, I would masturbate 3 to 6 times, maybe 12 times a day. It was bad.
It was bad.
I was about 12, 13 years old when I became addicted.
My God.
And it was I was by myself. My mother didn't know it. My mother didn't know it. She just now found out about it and how bad it was by reading the book. When the book came out, the books went to her house and she started reading the first couple of chapters. And she said, boy, if I would have known that she was doing this under my nose, boy. She said, if I'd have known how you got addicted, y'all got to get this book, man, because you're going to hear the story.
So did you have a dad in the household with you?
At the time, she had a boyfriend.
Okay.
And I'm not going to mention his name.
Right.
Different reasons. But he gave me, I'm not going to tell the story too much, but he gave me my first pornographic flick.
Okay.
And I didn't become addicted right then and there, but the seed was planted because he gave me the material.
Exactly. And you know what frustrates me a lot is those guys who have boys and they think, you know, by introducing their young boys to women, letting them have sex at a young age, that's not going to affect them. It's going to make sure that they don't become gay. It's going to make them more of a man. That is so wrong.
You see, the problem is instead of teaching them how to be one women men,
yes,
love one woman, how to be committed, how to want to desire to have family, how to want to be a father, a good husband. It's like a prized possession, especially in the African American community.
Yeah.
Oh, how many women you sleep with. You know, we talk about how much women, they have bodies. Well, men have bodies too.
Right.
Men have bodies too, but for men, it's more so like a prized possession. It's more so like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
But we don't really understand spiritually how it affects us. Because we're tying ourselves spiritually to these people that not only are we sexually intimate with, but even the people that we are imagining that we're having sex with pornography.
Right.
Because it's all with pornography. It's just imagination.
Right.
It's playing on your mind.
Right.
You know, you're imagining yourself being intimate with these people, and I feel bad for people when you have spouses and you're looking at pornography because you may be making love to your spouse, but you're imagining being with this other person that's on the screen.
Yeah.
So there's no true intimacy. That's another form of adultery, but that's a whole other level.
Intimacy.
That's a whole other level.
Yeah, that can be horrific. Now, I know the people who really are addicted and suffering, want to be free of it, go through a lot of changes on trying to break free. Like, for instance, Kirk Franklin went on the Oprah Winfrey Show and told about how he took all of his porn tapes far distance away and went back, drove and got them out of the trash can because he needed them. So what are some of the struggles you go through trying to break free of the draw that the porn, it calls your name. It's like every time you turn around, it's calling you to come watch it. So how do you break away?
It's hard to break away because with pornography, there's a chapter in there I talk about mental images.
Yeah.
And once you go online and you look at pornography, you look at these images, you look at the sexual positions that they do, you can't get those images out of your head. It's almost like when you're a child and you see somebody getting shot.
Right.
That traumatizes you. You remember that for the rest of your life. You remember the scene. You remember where you were, even as young as that. And it's the same thing with the porn addict. When you look at pornography, you go online, you see your favorite actresses, you got your favorite DVDs, your favorite websites, and you try to work your way towards deliverance. For me, that was a struggle. I would work my way. There would be weeks I would not indulge and try to be free, but those mental images are in my head, and I would just like... there were moments to where I wouldn't watch pornography, but those images are still there. And I would be like, wow. And I would see my favorite. Even to this day, I've been delivered over, 2 years?
Right.
I'll be 26 this year, so it's been over 2 years.
Okay.
And so I still have those images, and that's kind of my thorn in my flesh, but that's my responsibility because I decided to continue to indulge.
Right.
And so Paul had a thorn in his flesh, but at the same time, God, it wasn't so much so that God was giving him something that he was going to send him to hell for at the same time. Mm-hmm. But you have a thorn, but you have to learn how to discipline yourself and how to have self-control. To know, even though you may have those desires, you may have those mental images, but you still have to discipline yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's what it boils down to at the day. One thing I like about it is Paul said, I beat my body and make it my slave so that I too may not miss out on the prize. It makes no sense that I'm going to be a preacher preaching week after week and I miss out on the very thing. I'm preaching to you, telling you to live holy, but I can't do it.
Right.
So it's pointless.
So you're not actually functioning in the power thereof if we're, have these things that we're addicted to. Also the enemy is real sneaky and he comes in any kind of way that he can, because the first commandment is that we would love God with all our heart and that we would worship him. But if we have this thing that we have to go to, it becomes idolatry. We have made, porn an idol in in our minds and in our hearts. And we got to remember that our eyes and our ears are the gates to our soul, which is our mind, our will, and our emotions. So when the enemy gets a foothold on your mind, your will, and emotions, then he got a big part of you that cannot worship God at this time because it's consumed with these images. It's consumed. It's consumed. Some of them can see me, but it consumes you.
Talk to your pastor. You got a license. We got to get you licensed ASAP.
No, I'm licensed. No, I'm licensed. I'm an evangelist. Yes. That's why it comes out here and there.
So we taking the seed offering at the end of the show, and then tithes. Bring your tithes and seed offering.
But this is really something that they have. They have a program, and I think it's called Every Man's Battle, and it comes on 105.1. And I actually sent my ex-husband to Every Man's Battle, but there's a difference. Most of those people were Caucasian people. They do things totally different from our community, and so my ex-husband came back okay for 2 days. But then he was right back to it. 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. But Deontay, I think we're going to collaborate and we're going to work on a workshop and a program for those who need help because it's not being preached from the pulpit. Why not? Why isn't this being preached?
You know why it's not being preached from the pulpit? Because a lot of people are doing it themselves.
A lot of our preachers are doing it themselves.
You can't preach to somebody and tell them to be delivered, be healed, set free if you're still struggling with the same thing.
My God.
And a lot of times, see, the problem with the church is more so reactive rather than preventive. And so we say something when a scandal comes out. We say something about perversion and lust when the preacher has a baby with somebody in the church, or we say something when you find out that the musicians and the choir directors are sleeping together. But where were you when you knew they were struggling? Yeah. Where were you when you knew they needed help? Don't say nothing about it when it comes out and now their business is in the church street. No, you got to say something and you got to give them help. See, that's the problem. We have to learn how to help people, how to love people, how to say, you know what, I see you struggling. Not to put their business out there, but I see you struggling. Let's come over here. I see you. But the problem is, I see myself when I look at you. Yeah. I see myself 20 years ago when I look at you.
That's right.
And that's why. And so that's why I'm so hard on you. That's why I'm hard on you the way that I am, because I see myself.
Yeah. So, you know, even Donnie McClurkin, he talked about his struggle as a homosexual. Right. He didn't want to be a homosexual anymore. Right. And every time he went to someone, a pastor, a leader in the church, they ended up not helping him, but also taking advantage of him and sleeping with him as well. And so, and that is so heartbreaking that even sometimes in the church, we don't have a place that we can go to for refuge, a place that we can go to for help and to be delivered of these things, because sometimes we can't even trust that the people will keep our secrets and while they're helping us get delivered. Right. You know, so we are going to come up with a workshop that will be private for those of you who may be struggling with this issue. We're going to offer you help, and we're going to offer you a way to be delivered, because I'm telling you, our job is to worship God, and it's impossible if your mind is always consumed with twerking videos. We got to go step away for a minute. We're going to come right back, and when we come back, we're going to continue talking about saved, sanctified, and addicted to porn, overcoming sexual perversion. We'll be right back after these messages. Hey, Facebook Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, who we got? My pastor is watching. Hey, Pastor Linda. Hey, Shawnee Grayco. Hey, Thais Harrison. Thank you for watching. Hey, Love Jones is watching. Thank y'all for watching. We are talking about saved, sanctified, and addicted to porn. If you want to see us have a workshop and offer this so that people can get help, just, inbox me, inbox Deontay. We'll get something together, because this is a serious issue. We're not just playing church. We want to be the church, and we want, to allow people to experience true deliverance, true healing, and to know that the power of God is real. It's nothing that we can't be delivered from. And some of y'all have been delivered from some things, so we all know.
I ain't nothing too hard for God.
I've been delivered. You've been delivered. Now, when we come back, we're going to introduce our licensed counselor and let her say.
Flojo, she ran up in here.
We're going to let her say a few things, and then we'll continue with the show.
We'll be back on there.
I love this song. Jesus, thank you. Anyway, Good afternoon, everyone. This is Trendi. We are live on the Trendi Lindi show in the studios of 1450 WOLAM, where information is power, and also 95.9. I have in the studios my good friend Deontay Carroll, who has just written a book, Saved, Sanctified, and Addicted to Porn, Overcoming Sexual Perversion.
Thanks for calling me and say, you trying to condone being in lust and
No, we ain't condoning that. But we also just have added to the studio my great friend Shantae Ash from True Wellness. She is a licensed counselor. I know you've been listening. What do you have to say about this new book that Deontay Carroll has just written?
Well, I just want to congratulate my brother for just stepping out on his calling to write about such a needed topic in the community. I know it's taboo, is one of them topics that no one openly talks about.
That's right.
Especially within the Christian faith.
Yes.
My God. You know, when you think about pornography, for people who are struggling with it, just like drugs and alcohol, it's a humiliation that's behind it. It's a shame behind it. So, as Deontay had expressed earlier, you know, they try to do their own self-care with it.
Yes.
You know, their own type of medication or treatment of the situation instead of getting the professional help that they need. So it's good to have that knowledge out there, to read about it, but also be aware of the signs and symptoms of it. Clinically is not considered a disorder, even though it is a behavioral addiction. And it was something that was even considered to be put in the diagnostic manual for consideration. But right now, only other behavioral addiction that is considered is gambling. Right now, there's not enough studies on it, so that's the reason why it's not included. And so information that's been put out here by my brother and other studies that is much needed, you know, for it to be funded where it can be considered. So that's why it's kind of hard to go and seek treatment if people don't know much about it.
So would this be considered under a sexual addiction though? Is that something that can be, that insurance will pay for someone to come in and seek help?
Well, it's more so a behavioral because you're doing an act with it. It is
more behavior.
It's also and a lot of treatment centers that are considering or are treating pornography issues, they do look at it from an addictive pattern. They look at it as if the same way that you would treat alcohol and drug abuse, that's how they're looking at it. They're looking at it from a behavioral as well as their emotional well-being. They know that it intervenes with the person's daily life because of the compulsiveness that's involved in it, where they're doing it so much to the point that they don't care that it's affecting their marriage, their relationship with friends, their work, you know, doing work, even to the point of doing it on the job. When it's you're about to get fired, you know, so
lose your income.
You're about to lose your
way of living
and stuff. It's getting to the point where they having relapses, withdrawals, those issues that you will find in drug and alcohol treatment. Whereas as a mental health profession, we look at the compulsiveness of it and treat it with a therapeutic approach to address those behaviors, those emotional issues with it, like the depression that comes with it, where they have the desire to, well, some individuals have the desire to want to stop this because they know how much it's hurting them, but it's a struggle, especially when you have the strong attachment to it and to deal with it.
That's right.
So
that's all. So give your information. If someone is suffering with this issue and they know that they need help, they cannot do it on their own, how can they contact you, Shantae? Give them information.
Well, first of all, you have to recognize that you have a problem. And you got to be acceptant to getting the treatment that you need. There's a lot of people They don't see it as a problem. They feel like they control it and can cut it off whenever they feel like it.
Right.
So it's important that you recognize it and receive the services that you need.
Right.
And also seek the professional that is experienced in addiction situations.
Okay.
As for me, I would refer them to a treatment facility that can work on that case. I more so work with the emotional aspects of it in regards to relationship and in regards to depression and anxiety, the stress that's coming from it. For something that is so intense, I would prefer someone that
specialize in it.
Yes.
Okay, well, awesome. Well, you can refer them to someone that you know who will come from a Christian aspect, and as well as help them afterwards if they need to talk about the emotional damage part of it. So give them your information.
I would work with.
Yes, give them your information because we got to move along quick. Tell them how to get you.
It's through True Wellness, today.com. So it's True Wellness spelled out, the number 2, the word day.com. Or you can call me at 301-861-3454. And for the month of August, I'm offering 30% off of my counseling services, whereas the mental health counseling, online counseling, as well as Christian counseling.
Okay, so we have a counselor in the house with a 30% off for the month of August. We are celebrating our birthdays in August.
Yes.
She's August, 30th? 31st. I am August 26th. My pastor is August 9th. Happy birthday, Pastor Linda Boykin from Salvation Outreach and Deliverance Ministries. That's my church, and I'm up there stuttering. Anyhow, happy birthday, Pastor Linda. Okay, so Deontay, tell the listeners what you want them to walk away with when they get your book, Saved, Sanctified, and Addicted to Porn, Overcoming Sexual Perversion. What do you want them to walk away with?
I want you to walk away with knowledge, knowing about the addiction, knowing more than you didn't know before. I want you to take the steps, the tools, the different things that I put in the book that you can put in place and actually implement that are actually proven to work, because I tried them myself, and they helped me to maintain my deliverance and maintain myself from staying away and dealing with that thorn in my flesh. So I want you to walk away saying, hey, it's possible that yes, I was once addicted, but I can actually live free. I can actually overcome this. This is not something that doesn't have to overwhelm me or take me out of here, or I have to die with this secret.
Right. I really applaud you for taking this bold step of writing this, for doing this project, because so many of us, what we do in secret, we believe nobody else knows, it's just us, but it affects us in our everyday living. And a lot of us, we go to church and we're bound. We can't even lift our hands. We can't even smile. We can't worship the Lord like he would want and like he deserved, because we're bound with all of these things that we're dealing with. And I need you to know that this is a spirit. This isn't something that you made happen or anything. This is a spirit. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And the way that he destroy our lives, and the way that he steal from our purpose, and the way that he do these things is by he have these little spirits that come out, and if you're open to it, it will come in and live with you and start taking over. And that's just how it happens. These things are spirits. Alcohol addiction, they're spirits. It starts that way. And if you're open to it, then they come in to live. So we're going to teach you. We're going to get together a workshop. And if you're addicted to anything, we're going to help you find deliverance if that's what you need. But if this thing is taking you over and you're consumed with it every day, you're missing children's ballet lessons, and you're missing a little boy playing the football, your son, and you're missing on dates and stuff because you're out pleasuring yourself. This is a problem. This isn't right. I know at night when I was married, I was like, okay, we're supposed to be intimate, but the spirit caused him he couldn't be intimate with me. He was intimate with himself. Intimacy is being into me. You can't be into me when you are trapped with this thing that has consumed you. So I just tell you, if this is something that's causing you not to be the most productive person that you know you can be, come on and get some help. Get some help for the alcohol. Get some help for the drug abuse. Get some help for whatever situation you're going through. We are here to help you. Please feel free to inbox me. I am a minister. I will definitely keep your secrets amongst myself, and I will pass them if you say I can pass them. So is Minister Deontay. He is a minister admitting that 2 years ago he suffered with porn addiction, and he knew that he was better than that, and that the power of God, if it can raise Lazarus from the dead, he can definitely get you off of this substance and off of these situations that you're bound in. I say it all the time. I say it all the time. He raised Lazarus from the dead. So there's nothing too hard for God. Yeah. We just got to, expose it. Because a lot of times the enemy is trying to make you believe, don't tell nobody. They gonna think you a freak. Yeah. Don't tell nobody. They gonna think you nasty and dirty. Don't tell anybody because they gonna think differently of you. Now that is the truth. People, they'll judge you, but tell the right persons. You tell the people that can help you. Don't tell people who just gonna sit up there and pass it on. Go get some help. All of us need help in some area. Yeah. All of us, including myself. I need help in areas. But you know what? I am not too prideful to go get it. I will tell my pastor anything. I will go and tell her anything I'm going through. And I believe that we'll pray and touch and agree, and God will change it. So just get you some help. We are here to help you. I thank you so much, Deontay Carroll, for doing this project, for coming out and sharing it with the listeners. I thank you also, Shantae Ash from True Wellness Today. Yeah. Okay. This has been the Trendi Lindi Show. I tell you, it's too fast, but we will be moving to an hour as soon as that inventory allows.
She gonna have me back.
And I'm definitely gonna have my friend Deontay Carroll back. But you can find them on
Sanctified, Addicted to Porn, Overcoming Sexual Perversion.
That's right.
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
As they say, Google me, baby.
That's right. And get his book.
Yeah. Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com is everywhere. Get it.
It's been live on Trendi Lindi Show, and we love you. And we'll be back next week with another hot topic. Love you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Good.
Washington, D.C.'s news talk.
Yeah, we need an hour.
Yeah, we need about an hour, 2 hours. We need some more time. Hey, everyone.
What's up, y'all? We over. I'm finna give me some pizza now.
He tired.
I ain't tired.
You ain't tired?
He that show?
He hungry.
He
gonna go get on another show. He going to the next
another show.
But thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. What's up, y'all?
Designated driver. Yeah, I'm the designated driver tonight.
What's up, Rondi?
Okay.
Every trip, every